Countries GameFi experience, Weaponized Arena. This is the first fully on-chain strategy trading card game where you can attack and defend in real time with full animations and sound. Earn Phantom in the high-stakes battle arena or play for free with your friends to see who will dominate the world and become the ultimate weaponized champion. With thousands of cards to choose from, pick your champion and jump into battle. To ensure you face cards on your level, we've added an ELO ranking system to help you claim victory in the arena and climb to the top of the leaderboard. The all-new Weaponized Arena, the future of GameFi.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you guys hear us?
Absolutely.
How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
We're good. So, did you like we put your video up there for you?
I'm pulling it up right now.
So, you want to start off by introducing yourselves? Give us a little bit, I guess, history with you and your team.
Absolutely. I guess I can take this. So, our team is 4 people. Myself, Triton here, and then on the call we have Kashmir and Evanator. All equal parts important. It's just that we like to talk and they don't, so that's kind of how that division of AMAs goes. But just as important as us, they just don't like talking, so that's where we jump in. That's the team as a whole. On our website, we do have a team page if anyone wants to go kind of check out everyone. We also, all the team members have a completely custom card within the deck. So if no team cards have been pulled yet. So if you're lucky enough to pull a team card, hold on to that one because there's only a few of them. So we all personally designed one-off cards within the deck, just kind of as our treat for being the devs.
Nice. I think everybody does that with their projects, or most people.
Yeah.
I know I did that with our raccoon one, so I don't see anything wrong with that one. So tell us a little bit about your game and the NFTs.
Yeah, absolutely. The game has been, a long time in development. We won't lie. I don't want to say reviving the project because we always had this plan. We were never we always planned to deliver on our promises, but it took longer than expected. So we're kind of, reminding people that we're still around and we're still working hard. And we're getting super close to launching the Weaponized Arena, which is a completely on-chain dueling game where you can basically jump in and verse other community members and battle your cards together, whatever card choosing from your deck. You can play for free. It was really important for us to add a free component because everyone who's has cards already bought into the project, and we thought it was only right to you already paid to be here and to be part of this community. You should be able to play the game for free, but at the same time, we've had a lot of demand for like a high stakes style, being able to put up Phantom to bet. So we have the free version, and then we also have the paid version where you can bet your Fanties and then go up against other people, and whoever wins takes the pot. So we have something I think for everyone, depending on what their risk appetite is. But let's be honest, we're all Phantom degen, so probably everyone's going to be going in the betting pools. But yeah, so we have the free version because we thought that was important to kind of let everyone participate. It's really important for us. We've worked so hard on this that it's just for us. We just want to share with everyone. It's not about the money. It's not about the fan. Like, we truly just want everyone to enjoy what we've made because we think it's really goddamn good, to be honest with you.
So is the structure of it like a one-on-one, or do you get to use multiple, I guess, cards?
I'll take this one. So upon launch, our 1v1 game mode will be the main. And how that works is obviously you're matched up against another country, but the stats and whatnot of the countries are determined based on which continent it's on, and then combine that with its rarity. So there's kind of like a geography element there. And then each weapon has a certain type. So the traits that your card has actually do matter in battle, and you'll have to use your types to counter the other player. Eventually, we're planning to have 2v2, possibly even 3v3 with link skills. but we're not there yet. We just want to get V1 out there for everybody to enjoy, to get their feet wet.
So if you have, because I know just a little bit, only what I've read. I'm new to seeing your project. But if a player gets a card with very low stats, they won't get matched up with somebody who's got really high stats, right?
So a system for handling the ELO is in the works. The ELO calculation is already done, but upon launch, there will be rankings. So the matchmaking isn't completely abysmal once your ELO is kind of established.
Okay, so it gives like people who have minted like lower stat cards a better chance of fighting people in their own class.
Absolutely. And then another thing is the continent archetypes and the typings of the weapons really do matter. So even if there's a huge rarity mismatch, it's not necessarily a guarantee. If you play the duel right, you can still beat somebody who isn't using their rarer card properly.
And that was a big part of it for us, kind of building off of us. I mentioned we wanted to make sure there was a free to play version because that was important to us, and basically kind of opening that up to the community. But kind of building off that is, we built out this deck that can be minted. Obviously there's still cards available that different rarities one. And obviously if you get a more rare card, you expect it to perform better in battle, and it will. However, we didn't want to make it a pay to win where you just go, you mint some cards, you get some great ones, you use them again and again and again and just spank everyone. We didn't seem that was fair. Obviously people with better cards deserve an advantage, but they don't deserve to sweep every time. That's not fair and that's not fun. So it's not, our dueling game isn't just chance based. There is genuine strategy involved, and that was important to us. Is that or if you want to, maybe you didn't mint the best cards. Maybe the cards you got were not the most rare. However, you took the time to really understand how the game works and understand how to prep for your battles and what decisions to make based on what decisions your opponent is making. You still have a genuine chance to win, and that was important to us, that we have something that anyone can play and anyone can win. It's not just about having the best cards.
So as far as the cards, you guys have every country that exists in there?
We have every country that exists, and then a couple just special ones. Like we have Antarctica, for example, because we thought it'd be fun to include. So we included all the countries to the best of our abilities, and then a couple little fun ones is basically how we went about that. But we did go through like UN documents and stuff to make the countries in the deck as accurate as possible to like what's recognized today in the world.
And
we ended up with 195 total.
I saw a bunch of that they're all shaped like the countries.
Yep.
So how did you guys pull that? Did you guys hand draw all that, or?
Everything has been hand drawn, and shout out to Triton. Triton's the artist on the project, and also with help from Evanator. Can't forget about him. The two of them cut out, drew, and custom made every single asset of the project from scratch, and including the countries. And I remember staying up late with them, watching these guys cut out and redraw and texturize, obviously, because all the countries also are kind of textured to represent what the land is like. It's very there's a lot of mountains. You're going to notice that kind of on the card itself. They're all textured to kind of represent how the landscape is within that country. So they spent a lot of time on that, and obviously it's not 100% replica of the real world, but I'd say they did a pretty damn good job for the drawing style they used.
So
absolutely, and I really like the sort of the flourishes on the countries, because it takes me back to the sort of web comics that would be out back in the sort of early 2000s. I don't know if anyone really remembers those, but yeah, I really like that style on them.
Well, I'm glad you do. That means a lot, and that's we owe that to Triton for sure.
So about the gameplay, so if somebody's got a lot lower stats, is there like power-ups during the gameplay, or any of that stuff?
Yeah, so that's all stuff we have planned. We do have a GameFi specific roadmap that we have. I can share it after this and whatnot, but we do have a GameFi specific roadmap that kind of lays out some of those features that we'd like to add in the future. And basically that'll just be up to the community to decide if those are things that are important to them, if we can hit those milestones. At launch, no, but not only is that something that we've discussed, but also something that we can implement very easily. Like Trey mentioned earlier, the project, the GameFi is very modular, so we're going to be able to add new features and change things based on community feedback almost at a moment's notice. Or sorry, maybe not a moment's notice, but quickly, and adapt quickly to what the community likes and doesn't like. So
Absolutely. If I could elaborate on that some more, because how the gameplay works is it's cooldown based. So every country, based on its stats and its archetype and whatnot, where it is in the world, has a set cooldown time, and whenever that cooldown timer runs out, you can make a move. So that move can be an attack. For now, it's just attacks, where you're configuring which type you're using. But that can be potions, attack buff power-ups, all kinds of different things. And those can be NFTs, in-game tokens. We can really go crazy with it. It's just about finding the best way to implement that based on how our community plays the game.
Yeah, so this
So,
is, we're kind of learn from
the,
we're gonna learn from our community, right? We'll see the way they play, and we'll be able to build out the next steps of the game based on what we can see them leaning towards as like the things they like and don't like.
All right. Yeah, Dylan, you were going to ask a question?
Yeah, so with the sort of casual versus the competitive one, where you've got currency up for the win, NFTs are still required for both of those.
Yes.
What, sir?
He was
I missed
asking.
that.
He was asking if is it required to play the free to play, right? That have the NFT.
Yes. Yeah.
No,
Have they all been minted out already?
No, they have not been minted. I think we're at just under 1,400 before this call out of 5,188. Just for context, I think this should be mentioned. When we originally launched on Ethereum back in the day, which was a mistake because we are already Phantom degens at that point. We kind of got pushed to launch on Ethereum, but then we obviously realized our mistake, moved it back to our home base, which has always been Phantom. And then we tried to respect our Ethereum pricing structure on Phantom to not upset our Ethereum people, our Ethereum community members. And then as the price of Phantom jumped, it really put them kind of out of reach. And the way our contract's set up, we actually weren't able to edit the price. So that for context, that's something that we realized. And actually, as of yesterday, we've now officially changed the prices. The prices on all cards have been halved, and now we have a BOGO essentially. So for however many cards you mint, you now get double the amount in your wallet as mint credits, which then you can go back and redeem at any time. And we also airdrop to all existing community members yesterday as well. So yesterday was a big day for the project.
So I'm probably going to end up minting some of these, and I'll probably get Drenton to mint some too, because this sounds like a fun. It sounds like a fun.
We were looking
game.
at these a couple of months ago. I remember
we were
sort of scrolling endlessly to try and find New Zealand and South Africa and Finland.
Yeah. Oh, and it's cool that you said that. For us, we've kind of noticed. I think when we were even coming up with the idea for the project, like I think where you live, not necessarily where you're born, but where you're born or where you live, a lot of people, that means a lot to them. It's how it's a way for them to identify themselves, and obviously with profile pictures and whatnot, and just like it means a lot to people to be able to show off, where they're from or where they call home. So I feel like a project like this with countries was a great way for people to basically wear their heart in their sleeve and like be able to show off where they're from or where they love or whatnot.
I'm looking at them and I'm loving. I'm like, I really kind of want to mint a North Korea one.
They got some North Koreas on there with googly eyes and
also with the minting thing, obviously we have a full GameFi launching imminently. But as far as even the minting experience from day one with the project, even before we didn't launch promising GameFi because we didn't want to overpromise and underdeliver. But like when we launched the website experience itself, we really wanted to gamify it as much as possible. So like even when you do mint cards, it's important to us that like it's a full experience. So when you mint a card or a pack, whatnot, there's unboxing animations that you get to watch with sounds and lights and whatnot, and then it reveals the cards to you. So for us, we've kind of tried to make the whole experience enjoyable. We don't want to just click transaction, sign it, and that's the end of it. Like there is some show and some it's supposed to be like I said, it's supposed to be gamified and it's supposed to be exciting every time you mint. It's not just click a button, you're done, move on with your life. Like we wanted to make it more than that.
So when you guys launch this arena, is it like when you announce launch, is it gonna be playable at launch, like as soon as you announce it, or
We'll be probably announcing a release date in the coming weeks, I want to say at most, and then we're going to give people some time after announcement to basically be ready for it. Also, some people we've seen have been like, now that they're getting more details on how the arena works, they're building decks according to that. And once we really reveal more details on the stats and whatnot, how they play against each other, I expect more people to start building out decks specific to duel with, because there technically is money to be made. People can put up, if people are confident in their abilities, they can jump in there. But yeah, so basically we'll announce the release date, and probably the release date we'll announce the date probably a week before it goes live, something like that, to just give people time to prepare, something like that. It hasn't been totally fleshed out, but yeah, probably about a week between announcement and when it actually goes live.
I have a couple questions about the cards. I see you've got the letter, and then you got gold stars and silver stars.
Mm-hmm.
So what do those represent?
Actually, if you're on our website, Triton, which page? I'm not looking at the site at this exact moment. There's a page with some. Triton can walk you through it, but there's a page with like some very detailed stats about what the cards include.
So I'll get you on that page and I'll sort of explain as well. If you hit the nav bar and tap on the info, it'll open a second nav bar, and there will be an attribute guide or trait info or a page along those lines.
All right.
And then you'll see that there's the gold stars and the silver stars. Essentially, every trait has a rarity, just like most NFTs, right? But since this is a trading card collection, you wanted a way to like visually represent that so somebody could understand how rare a card is without going into the spreadsheet and looking at all the stats for the traits and whatnot, right? So it's kind of similar to the old Yu-Gi-Oh cards where they have all those stars at the top if you're familiar. Except for these, basically a gold star represents a very rare trait. And
real quick, I'm gonna share my screen while you're
cool
talking about this. Just gotta get that up there real quick.
But the gold stars are worth 100 trait score points, and silver stars are equal to 50. And typically, one very rare trait will give like 1 gold star, 1 silver star, or 2 gold stars, for example. So it's just a way to translate that to the user without them needing to look at numbers all the time. And then the letter at the top is obviously just a rarity badge that sorts them into rough categories. And then each rarity tier like has their own aesthetic for the cards. The background style, the background texture changes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is, like, even within the common tier, for example, there's low commons and high commons because it's a trait score range, right? So you can have an S versus an S, and it's still like an interesting battle because their stats are very different, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's also a good thing about the stars. It communicates. It's a little bit more granular than just the card rarities, because it shows even within rarities. Are you better than another card of the same rarity, so to speak? Because obviously with just X amount of rarity tiers, we can get more granular. So that's kind of how the stars play into that.
Now, when it comes down to the gameplay, the one where you are going to bet money, is there going to be a limit to like how much people can bet on each one, or?
Yes, yeah, we want this to be responsible. Again, there is the free version for everyone who wants to play it safe, and we totally respect that. But also, a lot of people really did want, like, we did some polls and stuff, and people wanted the betting edition, so that's what spurred that. And yeah, there's going to be different predetermined tiers of amounts, like different predetermined amounts that we will decide internally. We would hate for someone to, jump in with, I don't know, 1,000 fanties and then someone accidentally hit the same thing. You know what I mean? So like we will have predetermined amounts just to keep everyone safe.
So you'll have like a max out of like 50, 100 Phantom or whatever, and
Yeah, we're looking at like a
Exactly.
tiered system where basically like
okay.
you queue up at this Phantom tier if you'd like.
Yeah, whether it's 5, 10, 20, or whatnot, it's like we're gonna do something where it kind of something for everyone's appetite. Do you want to just a touch, or do you want to really get in there?
I mean, this is all really, really cool. This is the first like working card game. I mean, I think at least it's the first working one I've seen on Phantom.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of stuff sort of in development, but yeah, and that's the first one, which
So it's buy one get one, so you can get one or you get two, right? You get
so for
two
example,
69 Phantom.
Yeah, or the 7-pack, you get 7 times 2, etc., etc. So all of the different pack sizes have it's maybe buy one get one is the best way to communicate that, but that's the best we come up with. But no matter how many cards you buy, you'll get double in the form of mint credits, which can be redeemed at any time. And it'll, when you jump on the website, after purchasing and the mint credits have been sent to you, you'll see them.
So okay, so you get the 6. So for the G7,
Yep.
you get 6, and then 1 free, and then it doubles that free one too.
Yeah.
Because originally, before our BOGO, just the ×2 at the end of the written numbers wasn't there.
Okay.
So there were pack discounts before a buy one get one, but we wanted to give even more value to the community. So everything got doubled up.
And the pack system is named with our country's theme. I have to mention that the G7, the G24 are very purposeful titles. They're based on different groupings of countries, right? Like the G7, whatnot. Like this, those are a little clever nod to the whole like global kind of worldwide aspect of the project.
So what made you guys come up with the idea to make a card game where countries fight each other? Because that's
I guess I'll be totally honest. The whole team are, we're all good friends and Phantom diehards, so we've obviously known each other. And then I basically woke up quite literally in the middle of the night after and been like, oh my god, I have the goofiest idea ever. I need to see what they think about this. And I brought the idea to try and said, let me mock something up. Let me see if this is anything. And he came back with that artwork, and I was like, we are for sure doing this. Like you took an idea and you made it so much more than an idea. We're moving with this. And then, it went from there basically.
it reminds me of like Civilization, but like, Civ 5, Civ 6. It reminds me of that, but in a trading card.
Yeah, our inspiration is honestly kind of, our whole logic was, even with first of all, the art style was kind of like, in grade school, you doodle on your notebooks and stuff. Like they kind of, we wanted to replicate like the type of goofy stuff you doodle on your notebooks. And then at that time in our lives, we were really into Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. So we wanted to basically like the perfect merger of like the doodles on our notebooks and like the card games that we like spent so much time playing when we were younger.
I think all of us who were raised around the 90s definitely played Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh a bunch.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So that's kind of we kind of wanted to replicate that feel as much as possible in the new world. So even with the pack system, like I don't actually know a lot of projects that have, at least specific of them, that do that. But the reason we wanted to do a pack system was because, you go to the store to buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you don't usually get one. There's packs, right? You get the starter pack, you get the booster pack. Like we wanted to try and replicate a genuine, real card game as much as possible in every aspect of the project, from the way we present it, the way we brand it, and whatnot. Like we wanted every aspect to replicate that as best we could.
I like that idea. I love the artwork too. I think it's really fun. It's not stale. Like I love the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh when I was younger, but now I just am not interested. But it's definitely a lot more original than a lot of the other projects I've seen. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but I haven't seen any trading card games. And I love trading cards. Like, I've got a whole probably 300 pounds of trading cards sitting in my
Totally.
office.
That's what I like to hear. I
I've got
definitely still have
Pokemon
my
right
Yu-Gi-Oh
there,
cards.
but
I really love the idea of people, sort of trading their, not their like favorite cards, but just sort of like their booster type cards or just cards that they have, with each other, sort of just direct trading with, the safe transfer and stuff like that. We managed to really replicate the whole thing really well.
with
Exactly. Yeah, we tried. We really want people to kind of. We also saw a lot. This is the type of project where we can see people because there's plenty of trading. How many cards of every country are there? Sorry, just remind me.
26.
26. So like with 26 of each country, like we wanted it to be where everyone could, get one of their home country if they wanted to. And because there's different rarities, we didn't want everyone to be raked over the coals for their country if it only came in like a really rare class. But like with the 26 and the rarity tiers, we want everyone to be able to like, you see the project, like, cool, like let me grab, my home country, and for like a reasonable price you could do that, which is another thing we really wanted to like see happen, and it has. People have been like trying to hunt down their countries, which we love.
are you guys planning on any kind of like when people build their decks? Are they going to be able to use multiple cards in a game when they're doing a 1v1?
So a bit of alpha here. Me and the other developer who are doing the game development, like we're already designing, mentally like mapping out sort of how we'd engineer a system that lets you use multiple cards. Can't put any dates on it yet or anything, but we'd love to do something like that and really blow up everything.
Because I think that would add a whole new like building your deck up. That actually gives a huge purpose for that, and that's one thing I love is organizing my decks.
100%, and it's something we want to do. Our whole goal, like again, because we've kind of the game took longer than expected, and we're basically trying to remind people that we're still here working our asses off. We didn't just abandon it or rug it or whatever. Part of that is we want to. The launch product is going to be phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but we definitely are choosing to withhold certain features so that what we do put out is polished, and then we can add new features as they get polished and we deem them ready, as opposed to just throwing everything at once and having stuff not work, so to speak. So those are all things we've discussed and are very doable for us. It's just we've stretched out the release of certain things so that what we come with on launch is in great condition for the people.
Do you guys have like a kind of like a gameplay rule book, like how it's going to work or anything like that? Like,
that is being written up. We're taking care to make sure that's super detailed because, like we said, there might be people putting money on the line, so we want to make sure that that everyone has equal access to a detailed explanation of how the game works. So that is being written up as we speak, and it'll hopefully be put out prior to the game launching so people can kind of study up prior to the game as well.
I'm kind of excited because this gives me a way to kind of beat up on my fellow Nova team members.
Exactly. That's one thing. I can definitely see a situation where some people jump in, put the money down, said, let's fucking go. Sorry. And then other people are very like thoughtful about how they approach it, and they're very careful about making sure they understand every aspect of the game first. So I think you're going to see, there's going to be upsets in the game because someone's going to jump in gung ho with a strong card, and someone else is going to strategize and be very knowledgeable of how the back end works. And I can see upsets happening, and everyone loves an underdog, so those will be awesome games to watch and whatnot.
Someone wants to ask a question. Osmodius. Go ahead and ask in the YouTube chat, and we'll answer that question. But now I'm gonna go mint some probably here in a little bit. What do you think, Trenton? Want to grab a few?
I am having a look to see what's available on the aftermarket.
He wants to get certain ones.
Got a snipe. Yeah, the way we look at it,
Sniper.
a lot of people jump on secondary to pick if they want their home country because it's easy, better chance that way. But when they're looking just to score big, they go from the site because it's like a lottery, right?
Yeah, I'm I might do some floor sweeping if I see some that are good.
Maybe we should
Um,
get Paolo Portugal.
you want to get in Portugal?
Yeah.
Let's get in Portugal, all right?
Yeah.
Or we'll just get in Brazil. That'll make him happy. But
Even just
okay,
browsing, like some of the selection that I see, it's really cool to see it pan out and see the people love it.
I really just want
Oh.
the North Korea one just for the meme North Korea best Korea.
Yeah, exactly.
If we can get him a Brazil with the anime eyes and just spam him with uwu all day.
The anime eyes are a hit. They have been a hit since the start of the project, I'll be honest.
So Osmodius is asking how the combat will work with a common card versus a rare card or S rank card, and he wants to know: is it always going to default to the rare card, or will every card have a fair chance?
Triton, I know we've touched on this a bit, but Triton, I'll let you take it.
Yeah. So I guess I'll give like a very short breakdown of how a duel will typically work. So each country has either one weapon, well, because even a fist has a weapon type. So each country has 2 arms. When you queue up to find a match, you choose which arm you're guarding with by default. And why that matters is because once you get into the battle, your cooldown timer automatically starts for both countries. And not every country has the same cooldown timer. Some countries are faster than others. So as soon as your cooldown is up, you can see the enemies typing. You can attack to like give a type disadvantage or a type advantage or neutral damage. So say there's an S card with 2 blunt type weapons, and then your card is like an A or a B, but one of its things is a gun. The piercing type is strong against the blunt type, right? So if either your cooldown is lower or your attack is higher, then you can really like just try and go max offensive on them, since you can have type advantage the whole duel, for example, with a bad matchup. Or if the matchup is mixed, where both of you have different types, you can swap the types throughout the battle. So there's multiple attacks every battle, and every attack is a transaction in MetaMask. It's a live on-chain thing.
Fully on chain. That's a big thing for us. To our knowledge, I think we're, again, I don't want to say the only one because I don't want to make an error for not doing my research, but one of, if not the only, completely on-chain game on Fandom. They're like you're signing for everything, and it's fully on-chain. So it really does, I guess, take advantage of not only blockchain but also specifically the transaction times on Phantom. I don't think something like this would have been possible on many other networks just because of the sheer speed.
So what about if we get like some like if Phantom, let's say Coinbase picks it up and a bunch of other big exchanges do. What if the traffic and it starts clogging the network somewhat? Is that something you guys have like backup for, or like a server?
That's something I'm not incredibly concerned about, but I am also keeping in mind with how we design the system. Everything is based on block times, and given Phantom's block times tend to get shorter with the amount of traffic increasing and more validators coming on, especially after the validator price cut, I think it should scale fairly well, because I don't think we'll see like tens of thousands of people jump on our game specifically right away, for example. Or if Coinbase has picked up Phantom and they're finally trading mainnet Phantom, the amount of validators will go up so that the nodes will be able to keep up with the short block times,
All right.
And I guess also the fact that it's the way that it's like a dueling card game. It's not like, don't get me wrong, faster block times are always better. But if you try and compare this to like I don't know, like an FPS or something, obviously like a little bit more latency is acceptable in something like this when you compare it to other types of games, obviously. We don't see it being an issue, but even if it were to impact us a bit, I don't think the end user would notice it, just because the way the game's set up, kind of with all the animations and stuff, it kind of disguises over any wait times, if that makes sense. The way it's set up is to basically hide the load times from the user so they can just enjoy what's happening on screen.
Now, during the gameplay, and Osmodius had one more question. He wanted to know how do countries with no arms guard. But my my question was: is there so this is a turn-based thing, right?
Yeah.
So is there a turn time limits?
So I'll address Osmodius's question first because it's a quick answer. Countries with no arms have their own type, and it's called peace type. So, based on how that sounds, you can imagine it's not necessarily a great thing in battle, but we have a separate use case in the works for the peace type cards that makes them a great fit for benefiting your deck anyway. So you'll hear more about that in the future. And then in regards to the turn-based thing, there's not necessarily a turn time limit, but if your cooldown's up and you're not attacking, and the other person's cooldown timer keeps running out over and over again, like, you'll just get killed before you attack if you sit. Because you don't need to wait till the other person moves first for you to use your attack.
So if somebody just up and left a game, then it would just give the person who stayed victory.
Basically, because they just kill the other card.
And what if somebody loses connection in the middle of a game? Does it just count as them leaving?
Since you're not connecting to a server, there isn't actually necessarily a staying or leaving state that we need to manage. It's just either you're inside a duel on the contract or you're outside of a duel, kind of thing. So as long as Phantom is running, the game will work, even if there's no front end for it technically.
As long as you have internet too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't start playing the game when you haven't paid your internet bill.
Yeah. If, for example, if you leave the page during a duel and you go back to the website, the page will just load the duel back up in the exact state because it'll pull it from the blockchain. So if your internet cuts out and you connect back, you'll be able to get right back in your match.
Well, that's why people are. That's why they're jumping in and betting all their fanties because they need to win double to pay their internet bill. So, like, I better jump on the weaponized arena quick this afternoon. My internet bill is due by the end of today.
So, how long are you anticipating each of these duels to last?
On mainnet, I'm thinking we aimed for the duels to be between, say, 4 and 12 attacks. And then the cooldown per attack varies from between the quickest cards in the game are about 13-second cooldown.
Yep.
And the slowest are about 27-second cooldown. The rest of the stats, like attack and defense, balance out with that speed. So you're looking at probably like 2 to 7 minute duels.
Oh, that's beautiful. Don't have to clear out an entire afternoon.
Yeah.
We wanted them, and we are trying. I don't know if we've mentioned this publicly yet, but everything will be fully doable on mobile. We wanted to make something that kind of, it's not too serious. You can kind of pick it up, play it for a bit, and then put it down type thing. So, if you could do it, are you bored on the bus and you wanted to see if you could make some money? You can do that. Like that's a real thing that you can do. We want to kind of make it accessible, like we mentioned, but also like fun, but not too serious. Something that you can just pick up and put down as you choose.
Yeah, I was asking about the time because I remember playing Civ 5, and some of those games, if you finished it, they could last months if you took breaks. But like, I'd sit down and have to take 6 hours out of my day just to play and play.
Exactly.
Friends. But I like just casual gaming where you can win money. That's pretty
exactly.
fun. Is there any like information or like any like events you guys have coming up?
Any events? I guess the biggest, obviously, just as we're ramping up for the weaponized arena to actually launch, we have new info coming out every week. We just have a lot of surprises in store and continually announcing. Obviously, an AMA like this is something we're super excited about. Thank you for having us. But yeah, just if you were in our Discord and whatnot a couple months ago, you might have noticed things were pretty slow. But now we have new announcements coming out almost daily with new information, new teasers, new things to to check out or get ready for. Like I said, we now have the BOGO event ongoing as of yesterday, as well as we had the community airdrop yesterday. So as we're ramping up, it's basically every day is something new and exciting, just because we got to get everything out there in preparation for the game. So it's all compacted into like a couple really exciting weeks here.
Well, this sounds like a very very in depth project, but a lot of fun too for the community. I know I'll probably I'm going to go mint one, and I know if I can get our team members to get in this too, I'd definitely be beating them up just for fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I fully plan that our team fully plans to be in the arena along with everyone else. You know, we're not just here. We're not just making something and saying like we're the people we want to target. Like the team's gonna be in the weaponized arena fighting with each other and all of you guys too. Like we're not that's not below. We'll be in there with you guys like in the mud fighting it out. So
Now, I got a couple questions. So you said there were cards that were hand drawn, just one-on-ones for that your whole team made. Like each one of you made one.
yeah, so each member on the team has an ultra custom. So like whether or not it's the weapons they're holding or the traits they chose, like they're completely they're they're not randomly generated. They're completely one of ones that we chose the assets
And
personally for our
they
cards.
can be minted, right?
Yes, they can be. They're not one has been minted yet. They're all still in the deck.
So, do those have any like special abilities that other cards don't, or are they just the same abilities? They're not OP or anything.
They're not like they're just as like they still fall into the same they still fall into the legendary category. So obviously they're super powerful, but we're not going to go and they're not going to break the game.
Yeah, basically with those cards, because there's 5 rarities and the highest, the double S, is legendary. There's only 18 of them in the whole deck. So with the distribution curve of the stats, they're pretty freaking strong. But the type disadvantage can really, like, they can lose to an S or an A if there's
So
a
Type disadvantage is a big thing.
So you guys have really thought out the balancing and making sure that no one has like a completely unbeatable power or something.
Yeah, and will we have to make adjustments as people find loopholes and break things? Obviously stuff will probably have to be rebalanced. That's part of designing a game. But at the same time, I think we've done a pretty job proactively of making this fair and equitable for everyone and fun. Like we don't want everything to be a stalemate, right? We want people to kick ass in there, but also, have everyone where they can leave thinking like, okay, even if I lost, did I enjoy being there,
Yeah, that sounds like sounds like very well thought out. I kind of want to go mint some right now. I'm getting a little antsy because I want to try to grab a few.
If you do, make sure you stay for that animation because the different rarities have different reveal animations.
Yeah, so every card has its own unboxing animation. So yeah, definitely. I remember when we first launched, people weren't used to, any, what's the word I'm looking for? Any production value when they were minting from NFT projects. So we're like, guys, no, you don't understand. Like we went out of our way and spent extra time, like kind of enhancing the mint experience. Please stay on the site after confirming the transaction. Please stay there. We made it extra special. Don't tab away. Don't tab back to Discord. Stay there.
It's just like everybody who hops up at the movie theater at the end of a movie when they have something hidden.
Exactly. That's
they just
exactly
walk away.
What it's like.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting there eating my popcorn, just like watching the credits, waiting for the last part.
We're the Marvel movie of Phantom NFT projects.
Oh, that's
I'm glad that you guys don't just go, "Here's your card, get out." It's a bit more of a sort of Yu-Gi-Oh type situation.
Was that a credit card or was that your?
That's
Pokemon
my old.
card?
That's my bus card.
Oh,
My old bus card.
I was like, is he holding a Pokemon card?
How did you get that
CV
so
is
fast?
231.
So, are you guys planning on like events as far as like tournaments or like different different tier tournaments or something?
So I'm glad you brought that up. You guys have been awesome. I'm happy to drop some more alpha. So the way our weaponized arena is set up for launch, there's a lot of stats. There's leaderboards, there's match history. Match history breaks down even in terms of what kinds of attacks were done in that match between the two opponents. Triton, I don't think we've revealed this before. This is cool to talk about. But basically, we have a lot. There's a lot of on launch. There's a lot of stats accompanying the game, so that we can easily build out. We can build out tournaments, but also just like challenges. So like we plan to run tourneys and challenges, on a almost weekly basis because it's super easy for us to set up, and obviously the community will love that. So, and that's something great where we can also collaborate with other projects. We have some cool partnership ideas for the future when we start launching tournaments and stuff. But yeah, so the way it's set up, we can do those very easily and very quickly. So yeah, we plan to run those almost regularly. But yeah, not only just tourneys, but also challenges, if that makes sense. So tourneys, obviously, whoever wins most games, they're winning. But we could also do challenges with whoever, gets the most kills with a blunt attack today is getting something. It doesn't necessarily all have to be about wins. We can do smaller scale challenges, and people who can specialize, maybe they have a card they really like with a piercing type weapon that they're like, okay, this challenge is for me because I really fit into this category, right? So we're going to try something for everyone.
This sounds a lot. It sounds like a lot like Hearthstone, kind of, because they got those daily challenges. It's like kill 2 goblins or something.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So we want to have like a whole challenge system, but also like regular tourneys, and I think those work really well in tandem together. Because they kind of leave something. I think challenges are more accessible to the casual player, and then the more competitive you want to get, that's where you get into the tourney system. So having both of those kind of also, as far as like progression and stuff and like competing, gives something to both the casual and competitive as well.
This sounds like I'm definitely going to Mint after this. As soon as we get off here, I'm going to go grab a few.
We're happy to hear it. And yeah, like guys, honestly, it's really nice talking to you guys and getting this feedback because we felt like the community started to think we had just got up and we people minted cards and then we just left and that was the end of it. But that was never, not even for a moment ever. We always planned to deliver. We're sorry it took longer than expected, but this team is serious about delivering on the promises we made, and we're super excited to be so close to actually delivering on everything we promised from day one. This community's been so great to us, and the team is so appreciative of everything so far. And we're excited to continue building this even after launch.
Well, I think even leaving the gameplay out of it, I think that the artwork alone is really creative and it's pretty fun to look at. I'm scrolling through on our marketplace looking at them, and like Greaves looks funny.
Yeah, damn right.
And through them.
I'm really partial to the Antarctica cards. I really like those. I don't know what it is about them. I like them. I think also any card with a flag fill are also my absolute favorites. The flag fill cards are like absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, even if they're not super high rarities, like even if they're not you can get low rarity cards with flag fills, but the flag fills are just so gorgeous. They just like aesthetically up level every card.
I see one right now that's Columbia, and it's got 2 AKs, one in both hands.
Damn right.
And the best part is their nose is white.
Oh, there you go. Are we really surprised?
So I'm just like, yeah, I want to buy that card now. And join the cartel that way, huh?
Right on trend, right?
But well, this has been fun. We're gonna put some links in the description here on YouTube, and then we'll make sure that's put up there for anybody who was watching this in the future.
Awesome, thanks guys, and yeah, we'll definitely share this with our community again after this because I think we talked about a lot of important stuff, and we dropped some alpha here today, which we're really pleased about. You guys have been amazing to work with. Your marketplace looks great. I'm super excited to see how much more that grows. Weaponized Countries is honestly, we were pretty honored to even be for you guys to reach out for us to be on it. So like it's really nice to meet you guys, and I'm sure we'll be working together in the future too. So it's been a pleasure so far, and excited for the future.
So before we go, how many of the legendaries are still left to mint?
I believe 3 have been minted so far.
Yes. Yeah, 3 have been minted, 15 are left. One was minted today, actually, with one of the airdrop credits.
Yeah,
And
someone got real lucky.
And this it's all randomized, so
Yeah.
Random
So
token IDs.
okay.
include like the team doesn't know either. Like there's no one would be able to game it if they wanted to. So it's it's luck of the draw. Some people I'll be honest, some people got real goddamn lucky, especially with those. Someone got a free mint credit today and then redeemed a legendary. So they had a great day. I can only assume.
I'm looking at Congo with the Rocky RPG.
Yeah.
I just can't help myself looking at these things. They're just so funny looking.
I'm glad you think so. We also I guess I should mention as far as the cards, we do have some cards custom designed by Phantom community members in there. Beebus from the Bite Masons and Reaper Finance, for example, he has a card that he obviously Triton made the card, but he chose the assets and whatnot. So there are Phantom community members who have also had their impact on the project and also have designed specific cards within the project, which is cool.
I've got to say this one. I just found one that's it says it's rarity rank A. I guess it's an A class, but it's China and it's got an M16.
Yeah.
And it's got a Halo energy sword.
Damn right. Yeah. So the energy sword, I'm a Halo diehard. So when we're building a project, I said Triton, we need to put the energy sword in this freaking game. There's no way we can't. So yeah, the energy sword is a trait that you can get on your card, which I'm very pleased with.
I'm seeing a lot of really cool weapons on these things. So, but all right, I guess we're gonna wrap this up. But this has been really fun. Definitely gonna mint and look forward to it. Do you know about when we're gonna be near launching it?
So we haven't released a date yet, but I will say it's definitely less than a month. I think I can confidently promise that. So no specific date, but less than a month. Yeah, so definitely stay tuned. And obviously, guys, definitely show us, tweet us or toss in the Discord what cards you guys meant, because we're always excited to see what people get, and the community really gets hyped over, what other people are getting. So if you meant anything awesome, just toss it in there or tweet at us.
Yeah, we'll probably just mint first before we go on a second-hand market, because want to see what ones we get.
It's the rush of being like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna get here? It's like a roulette.
I don't know if I want two
you guys
AKs
have
or an
been
energy
amazing.
sword.
Yeah, true. You guys have been amazing. Honestly, it's been such a pleasure to deal with you guys. And thank you for even thinking about us to begin with. So it's been a pleasure. I look forward to what we can do in the future as well. And your marketplace looks great. I'm genuinely impressed by it. So
it's been great chatting with you guys, and it's really cool to actually know more about the project.
Yeah, no, we're happy to share. We're super proud of what we've done. So we, honestly, we could talk about it all day.
Like I said, I came into this knowing very little about it, but now I want to jump in at least for the artwork, the trading cards, but also for I can beat up the rest of the Nova team, hopefully.
And I plan to do the same thing with the Weaponized Countries team after the game launches. So we'll be doing the same thing.
Got a long night of wrangling you. Gotta ring you in.
All right, guys.
I'm hungry.
It's been a pleasure, guys. You guys are awesome. Have a great day / night, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Yeah, we will. We'll shoot you a message after we mint and let you know what we got.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Take care, guys.
All right, have a good one.
Bye, guys.
That's the end of it.